Philippines Gilas Pilipinas prepares for battle. The quadruple towers and the challenge of Asia's powerhouses. By Courtside PH Manila, December 2025. The echoes of bouncing basketballs inside the Meralco gym in Pasig City carry more than the usual rhythm of practice. They signal a new phase for Gilas Pilipinas, one that could define the nation's basketball direction for the next 2 years. With the Southeast Asian Games just days away and the FIBA Asia World Cup qualifiers window scheduled for February and March 2026, the program is entering what insiders call its heaviest confrontation yet. The next opponents are no ordinary teams. Gilas will face New Zealand and Australia, the twin powerhouses of the Asia-Oceania region, both stacked with professionals from the NBL and several NBA names. For the Philippines, these games will not simply be about wins and losses. They will be a measure of progress after years of rebuilding and an opportunity to test the country's new generation of big men. The Quadruple Tower Unit. Building construction, the vision of the Quadruple Tower. Head coach Tim Cone has long preached that Filipino basketball must adapt to international standards, length, rim protection, and interior efficiency. His plan for 2026 revolves around 4 front-court players who can match up physically with taller, stronger competition while maintaining speed and versatility. They are Quincy Miller-Brown, QMB, AJ Edu, Kai Sato, and June Mar-Fajardo, a blend of youth experience and sheer size that could give Gilas its most balanced lineup in years. Brick Quincy Miller-Brown, energy and evolution. Among the new faces, Quincy Miller-Brown has generated the most curiosity. Standing 6 feet 9 inches, mobile and spring-loaded, he brings a rare combination of length, timing, and mid-range confidence. What impresses the coaching staff most, however, is his defensive motor. He changes the geometry of the paint. One assistant coach noted, "When he rotates, opponents hesitate. That's what we've missed. A big who can contest without fouling." Miller-Brown's ability to guard multiple positions makes him invaluable against modern offenses that rely on spacing and quick cuts. Against New Zealand's athletic forwards or Australia's bruising centers, his role will be crucial. Brain AJ Edu. The defensive IQ. If QMB supplies energy, AJ Edu provides intelligence. At 6 feet 10 inches, the Cebu-born forward has spent years refining his feel for defensive rotations. Injuries slowed his early career, but since return to full strength, Edu has become one of the most reliable rim protectors in the program. He's not just big, says Cone. He reads plays 2 steps ahead. That's what makes him special. EDU's presence allows Gilas to play structured help defense, something vital against the pick-and-roll precision of Australia. Offensively, his finishing around the rim and improved mid-range jumper give the team flexibility. Able to run high-low sets with Fajardo or pick-and-pop options with Thompson and Brownlee. Evergreen tree Kai Sato, the tower in transition. Perhaps no player embodies both hope and scrutiny like Kai Sato. The 7 feet 3 inches center has become the face of Filipino basketball's global ambitions, playing stints in Japan's B-League and Australia's NBL. Critics have called for more aggression. Supporters point to steady improvement in footwork and timing. For Cone, Kai remains central to the Gilas blueprint. He gives us rim protection and passing that no one else can replicate, the coach said. We're teaching him to trust the system, not force it. Sato's chemistry with Edu during the last window hinted at potential dominance. Twin towers capable of anchoring both offense and defense. Add the power of Fajardo and the mobility of QMB, and Gilas suddenly possesses a rotation that can match Asia's tallest front courts. Elephant June Mar-Fajardo, the veteran anchor. At 36, June Mar-Fajardo continues to defy time. The 6-time PBA MVP remains the emotional and physical foundation of Gilas. His low-post efficiency and rebounding instincts still command respect internationally. Younger teammates often describe him as the group's calming presence, a leader who translates Cone's system into action during high-pressure moments. Fajardo's experience in reading double teams and creating open looks stabilizes the offense. Basketball building chemistry and depth. While the SEA games will feature a slightly different roster, focused on local league talent, the February and March qualifiers will reunite the program's core. Brownlee, Thompson, Ramos, and the four towers will headline a roster designed for balance between international speed and interior toughness. Training sessions have emphasized communication and defensive spacing. The system works only if everyone talks, says assistant coach Richard Del Rosario. In international play, a second of silence becomes 2 points for the opponent. To prepare, Gilas scrimmage against visiting NBL and Korean club teams during December, exposing the players to the physicality and pace typical of Oceania squads. Australia, and New Zealand. The measuring stick. Facing Australia and New Zealand remains the ultimate test. Australia's Boomers feature NBA and NBL veterans known for physical defense and precision offense. New Zealand's Tall Blacks, though smaller, rely on relentless motion and shooting accuracy. Both teams exploit lapses quickly, punishing slow rotations or missed box-outs. Gilas cannot afford mental breaks. The coaching staff's emphasis is clear: discipline over flash. Cohn's version of the triangle offense has been tailored for international spacing, more corner shooting, more off-ball cuts. The goal is to counter size with speed while preserving defensive structure. Light bulb what success looks like. Victory is ideal, but insiders define success more broadly. Competitive quarters, sustained defensive stops, and visible progress in execution. You measure growth in how you respond to elite pressure, says PBA analyst Miko Howley. If Gilas can force Australia to adjust, that's already evolution. The Federation views the window as a gateway to the next Olympic qualification cycle. Each possession in February and March will feed into data for 2027 planning. Gear the system under Cohn. Tim Cohn's influence has transformed Gilas from a collection of stars into a functioning system. Practices revolve around spacing, patience, and reads values that reduce reliance on isolation plays. His philosophy: basketball at this level is about structure meeting instinct. You prepare the framework, then let talent breathe inside it. Brownlee and Thompson act as system translators, ensuring the locals and naturalized players move in unison. The upcoming window will test how deeply that understanding runs when the defense is Australian and the stakes global. Philippines, the SEA Games prelude. Before those qualifiers, the 2025 SEA Games in Thailand serve as both warm-up and morale booster. Even with a different lineup, the Gilas brand of basketball remains the same: fast, unselfish, relentless. For fans, the tournament offers a preview of depth, a chance for younger players to prove they belong on the FIBA roster. Success in Chiang Mai will reinforce public confidence ahead of the February window. The SEA Games are where you test chemistry. The FIBA qualifiers are where you test character. Cohn summarized. Globe showing Europe-Africa the bigger picture. Basketball remains the Philippines' cultural heartbeat. Every international game transforms into a national event. Every victory a collective triumph. The return of size through the quadruple tower signals not just tactical improvement, but psychological assurance that the country can finally compete eye-to-eye with Asia's giants. Beyond results, officials from the Samahang Basketball in Pilipinas see 2026 as a foundation year for long-term continuity. Gone are the days of assembling teams a month before tournaments. Today's Gilas operates year-round with data analytics, wellness monitoring, and shared offensive systems from the youth squads to the senior team. Checkered flag looking ahead. When February arrives and the Philippine flag rises inside arenas in Auckland and Melbourne, expectations will again soar. But for Cohn and his players, the focus will remain internal: communication, discipline, resilience. The road to the next World Cup qualification will not be easy. Yet, as the echoes from training continue to reverberate across Pasig, one thing feels certain: the heart of Gilas Pilipinas still beats loud enough to be heard across the region. We know who we're up against, Brownlee said quietly after practice, but we also know who we play for. For a nation whose love for basketball borders on religion, that belief is everything.